Check 1 2. I'm sitting next to Flu, and what we about to do is a podcast.
Yes. Thank you for that intro. What's going on? This is What We Thinking Podcast.
I used to focus only on hurts. I had many gifts, but I was my own curse. But hold up, wait a minute, stop that. I need to focus on now, not that.
Get your mind right and your money tight.
As usual, I'm Influence, one of your hosts, and sitting to the right of me, as always, we got Bryson.
Hey, how y'all doing? What's going on?
What up? What's going on today? So what's happening with you today?
Well, let's see.
I see you got your bananas.
Oh yeah, I forgot they were there.
We're on a health kick.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
And we got water. That's what's up. We got water today.
Oh yeah.
Got water too.
What's going on with me? I went to Walmart, man, and I checked my blood pressure again, and this machine done said it's high like 3 times I done went there. And this week I did pretty good at eating, and I think I lost 7 pounds according to the machine. And,
yeah.
It's still high, so I'm working on that. I need to make a doctor's appointment. I don't want to take any medication.
Yeah, don't do it. You know what you need? You need some beetroot powder. Beetroot powder will lower your blood pressure in like 20 seconds.
Okay.
After taking it.
Where do I get that?
Anywhere.
Okay.
I got a link from Amazon for you.
Okay.
So I'll shoot that to you.
Oh, thank
but
you.
yeah, beetroot powder is good for your blood pressure and blood circulation, period.
Mm-hmm.
I just bought a blood pressure cuff because I got to check it. Because I've been having nosebleeds the last month. And I haven't had nosebleeds in years. Mm-hmm. And then I had 3 like bad nosebleeds. I think it was my blood pressure because I was wilding out. I've been, well, not recently, but maybe the month before that, maybe in June, haven't been eating right. I was eating a lot of pizza, all that salt and stuff. So I think my blood pressure is out of whack. This is one of the causes I am going to the doctors because I have knee issues and I need to get checked out, period. So after my vacation, couple weeks, I'll be going to the doctors. I ain't going now just in case they like, I got to sit down. I ain't sitting down because I'm going on vacation. Vacay.
Well, you might have to sit down because of your knee.
My knee, and I don't know what else is going on. I'm hoping nothing else.
What's
serious.
going on with your knee?
My knee is jacked up. To put it in scientific terms, It is hurting really bad. I think I've torn something in it. I'm not sure. It feels like it. I say it feels like it. I've never torn anything in my knee before. So, but what people say, what people describe, it feels like. So I got to get that checked out. It's hurting now. It hurts just sitting here.
Have you tried to heat it up or cool it down? Yeah,
I do that. It helps for a little bit. I put ice on it like nightly, and I do take hot baths, Epsom salt baths after I'm working out some days, at least once a week. I do that. But I just think it's injured. Like, you know, you can have hurt, you can have pain, and it'll heal. And you have like an injury that like really takes either operation or I'm hoping not, or just some intensive healing. Like maybe I need to stay off of it. I need to wrap it up. I don't know, but I think it's something more serious than just a small injury or a strain or something. Yeah. But I'm making do. I still work out every day. I still do my walks. I've been running the last couple of days, and it was really jacked up. So I come to the conclusion I can't run. I want to, though, because my fitness level has gotten up from walking every day the last 4 months, that now my heart rate's like at 65 while I'm walking fast. So I need to get it up. So I got to run or hike. I've been hiking. That's because my treadmill goes up and down. So yeah, I've been doing the hiking. That's get my heart rate right. That's
Do you
hard.
remember like when it started, or how it happened at all?
At all? Nope.
Okay.
Nope. I kind of remember it was maybe like a year or 2 ago. Like it was hurting lightly. I just remember both knees was hurting. I remember that. I wasn't shape I'm in now. Not that I'm in great shape now, but I'm in a lot better shape than I was then. And I think it has a lot to do with weight. But over the years, that could be what it is. Like, it could have just been me being overweight and putting too much pressure on it. And maybe it tearing. Like, I'm getting older. It's the problem. Not to say that getting older is bad, because I don't feel that way. And I don't feel it needs to be, I don't feel it needs to come with a whole bunch of issues. Like, a lot of people just have it in their head, like, you're getting older, you need, this stuff just happens. I don't think it has to. I think there's a reason it happens. Because when you get older, you get less, I think you get lazier. Some people, a lot of people, let me put it that way. You get lazier, you do less activities, you're more dependent on your job, you might be sitting all the time, sedentary lifestyle, all that stuff. I think it comes with it, because people that are older and been working out every day, I think they have less problems. Not that they don't have any, because I do think with age, like you can get 60, 70, you've been around for a minute, so stuff does wear out on your body. But I don't think how they describe it, like old age needs to come with a whole bunch of extra problems. I think if you take care of yourself, it won't. That's just it.
I was just thinking recently, like when I was younger and didn't have certain issues, or just had a bunch of energy and had a high sex drive, like I didn't realize, like what I had, and then like,
yeah, you don't.
Yeah.
You never do. I think that's with everything.
Yeah.
I thought about that not too long ago, because I haven't played ball in so long, basketball, in years, like as far as competition, like playing pickup game or whatever. I don't know how I would do now. But I think about back in the day when I used to play every day, get up in the morning. I get up like 6 o'clock in the morning, take a shower, go to the park, play all day, wouldn't even stretch, jump on the court, depending on how we was doing, because we had a good little group that we would go with, and we could run some parks. So we might win 5 games in a row just playing, not stretching. Then we might be off for a little bit. And even that, like now, if I would play one game and stop, I'll be jacked up trying to play another one if I don't keep going. Like once I stop and sit down, it's a wrap. Stuff like that, I think it does come with age. Like there are things, your hormones, stuff like that, testosterone gets lower. Like there's a lot of stuff that you can do about that, but you have to I think all that comes with taking care of yourself. When I say that, you have to eat right, even more now. Back in the day when you could just eat bagged potato chips, be good all day and run around, eat a sandwich with mad salty ass lunch meat, mayonnaise or whatever, mustard, all that stuff. Like then just go run around and not have a care in the world. Like you can't do that. You can't do that when you get older.
Yeah. Like I kind of wish I had been very health conscious. Conscious. I wish I had been health conscious all along,
I ain't the right person to tell you how to pronounce words, but I confuse words all the time. But go ahead.
Yeah, I kind of wish, and that would be my advice to a younger person. Like, you want to enjoy life, but you want to, you want to keep an eye on your health and you make sure you're on the right track. I heard somebody say recently, like, get in shape when you're younger.
Yeah. It's a lot easier.
Don't wait till you're over 40.
Yeah. It's a lot easier.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, what does come with age is the amount of effort it takes. I think that is 100%. And that's why a lot of older people don't do enough. Don't lift. You should lift weights. Lift weights. Even women, lift weights. You're not going to get super bulky if you don't want to. I know a lot of women don't want to lift weights when they're younger because they don't want to get strong or big or look like they're big. But, for one, it doesn't matter. you'll be surprised. I think a lot of men don't care, for one, and not saying that you're doing it for that, but I do know a lot of younger women that's like, I don't want to get big, I don't want to get muscular. Like, you can only get as muscular as you want to get, really. Like, you can still curve that into femininity if you want. Like, it just depends on what you're doing. Like, but it's a lot easier to do all that when you're younger, and lifting weights is a big thing, because the more muscle you have, the more, especially older. Like, as you get older, you definitely need to lift weights and add weightlifting into your workout routine, because it just helps with bone density, helps with all that stuff that messes with you as you get older, helps with your testosterone in men, building more muscle, helps with your fat loss. Yeah. But you're eating too. You got to get the right nutrients and all of that. But you're right, like, doing that stuff when you're younger is just so much better to stay in shape while you're younger. As you grow older, like, you'll lose some of it just naturally, but you'll just be ahead of the curve. I was in shape at one time, and it just, like I said, when you get older, just start working a job, especially if you're not working. If you're in a construction job or something like that, or manual labor job, it's kind of easier for you to stay in shape as you get older if you're doing that work every day. But as I got older, I stopped manual jobs and went to office jobs. And after I graduated college and got a degree, like, that's one of the downfalls. Looking back, I wish, not that that was a bad thing, but I wish I would have stayed working out, and before you know it, gets away from you. Like, before you know it. I remember gaining 35 pounds and not realizing it, just from working, just from sitting there all day and not doing anything like I used to, not even hardly walking. Like, going to work, walking from my car to work, trying to park as close as possible. Like, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You gotta do little stuff. Park far as possible, away from the door. Little stuff like that. Take the stairs all the time. I don't take the elevator, even with my knee. Now, if my knee starts too bad, or if I gotta stay off of it, I have to take the elevator. But yeah, I'm still trying to move.
And with me now, like, seeing, like, hearing about people who have died, men who have died, black men who have died from hypertension.
Oh yeah,
it's like,
yeah, it's a high killer. Hypertension, I mean, cholesterol, all that stuff. Your body is, and that does come with age. Like, your body does slow down. Metabolism slows down. It slows down. And I think a lot of that, I don't necessarily believe that it's just because you're getting older. I think it's, as I said, like, it's because you're getting more sedentary as you get older, just naturally. Yeah. Just naturally more sedentary. So your cholesterol levels ain't as great. I got high cholesterol, or I did. It's coming down a little bit, but I gotta go get that checked again too. But I had high blood pressure too. I started doing the beetroot though. Now it's normal.
I just heard about this too, beet juice. I heard that before you said that. I heard about it. Like, beet juice, like, helps, I think.
Yeah, you can do, I just said beetroot powder because it's cheap, easy. It doesn't taste good because there's no sugar or anything in it. It's just beets ground up into a powder. Basically, you just put it in your water. It's not terrible to me. I'm so used to it, but it may taste terrible to you, or it may taste terrible to people that's not used to it, because it's kind of bitter. And
well, that's mattering less and less nowadays to me.
That's the thing. and like you said, people are always like, nah, I want to enjoy my life. Well, it's longevity of enjoying your life. Like, you don't want to be 40 and don't enjoy your life no more and have 40 more years on this earth. Because the big thing I always say, when people always say the other thing that people always say is, gotta die from something. I could go outside and get hit by a bus tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, but what if you don't? I always say that. What if you don't? What if you live another 40 years? Hey, that it's a big possibility that you will live another 40 years, depending on how old you are. You know, if I'm talking to a 20-year-old, you live in another 50, 60 years at the very least. Nowadays, with the I'm hoping for you anyway.
I think I used to say that too. Like I couldn't see like not just eating stuff that I was like, I gotta like it. I gotta, which is still true. But now what I've been doing lately is like, I'm looking at the sodium in everything. I'm looking at what's the sodium in, you know what I'm saying? Everything I'm looking at, what's the sodium in
That's
pizza?
cool though, because that'll let you really know everything else too. Like probably you're looking at other stuff too, just because you're looking at just because you're looking at the sodium and you just see it. Like I look at sodium in a lot of stuff, but then I see like sugar content, and I'm like, damn, let me put this away. This don't taste like it got sugar in it, but it does. Most of the stuff. That's a big one too. The sugar. Yeah,
I've been watching that. Like they say, you can have 36 grams or 36 milligrams a day of. And I look at the added sugar,
it's different, and sugar is different coming from fruit. It's still sugar, and I say this again. Let me just how you say that word? Preference. Yeah. I always get preference and preference. I always say it. I know what I'm trying to say.
No R in the
no R. I'm always getting them words confused. I think last pod I got that word confused.
Preface.
Preface. But let me preface it with saying this is not medical advice. Please seek medical professionals. We're not doctors. I know a lot of stuff about a lot of stuff, but I'm not giving anybody medical advice. But I will say it's moderation. Everything is moderation. And sugar is one of the worst offenders. And if you're diabetic, you do have to be careful with even fruit sugar. I will say that when I say that fruit sugar is different than regular sugar, than added sugars, like table sugar, it is different. The makeup is different. But I do understand that diabetics do have to be careful because it still affects their blood sugar with different things, which is one of the reasons why some people drink apple juice when their sugar is low, because it raises their blood sugar. But you can prevent diabetes altogether if you just lay away from all the sugar and carbs too. A lot of carbs turns into sugar. So
yeah, I was just looking at orange juice, right? Because orange juice
is the worst offender.
It doesn't have sodium or cholesterol, but it has carbs and sugar.
The sugar content in orange, just plain orange juice, squeeze. Juices, period, aren't great. Like a lot of people will juice, but it's not the best thing for you. It's better than other stuff because it's fruit, natural fruit juice, but you're getting all the sugar and none of the fiber, and you're just getting straight sugar. Like there's just straight sugar. That's why I said orange juice is a big offender, because you have a 8-ounce glass of, you should have an 8-ounce. You ever been in a place and they give you a low ass glass of orange juice, and you be like, what the hell is this? Yeah. Like that's how much you should have. Like that's how much you're supposed to have. It's like 8 ounces. It's like a shot glass almost, and that has like 30 grams of sugar in it. So,
damn.
But if you do the whole fruit, even the skin, like there was a time when I would blend the whole lemon with the skin up in a smoothie, just in the morning, every morning, and drink that. It just be just a lemon and water, and everything though, the skin, the seeds, all that stuff, because all of it got nutrients in it. It's important, but moderation. I understand wanting to enjoy yourself, and ain't nothing wrong with wanting to enjoy your food. I love food, and I want to enjoy it. The other thing is, when you've been doing something all your life and you haven't been doing other things, it takes time to get used to it. So you may switch to some stuff that you feel is nasty or not as good as later on. It might be like, I was never a big fish eater. I didn't eat a lot of salmon growing up. we had the whitings, like the cheap fish. So and it was fried all the time when we did eat it, and that's terrible. But whitings ain't good not fried. Like I had baked whitings. That shit is disgusting. Like never. But then I switched to salmon, and I didn't like it. I didn't like salmon. Now I can eat salmon like 3 times a week, and I'm good. And I like it. Like it's a choice meal for me. But it took a while to get there. Took a while to get used to eating it. So you can't just dismiss stuff. Everything, and a lot of times the nastier stuff is, the better it is for you. Like a lot of stuff, like wheatgrass juice, stuff like that. Like it tastes like you drinking grass. Like you got a bunch of grass outside, put it in the blender. So it tastes like.
Some stuff though I can't do, and I just gotta find other alternatives because of the lack of taste. Like in particular, like I had bought a bunch of stuff recently. One of the things was like walnuts, like plain walnuts. I don't like.
You don't like them?
Not that much. I threw them out, and then I had some flax seed. I had some chia seeds. I had some.
You mixed them in stuff?
I ain't do nothing with them because I had used chia seeds before, and I had my experience with that, and then I just remembered, and like I just like I'm not gonna eat this stuff because, but
you should. It's good for you.
Yeah, but I also tried steel oats, but I would think you don't have to have every single healthy option. There's choices, right? You don't have to have.
But there's a lot of those things they're easy to get what you need.
Right.
You don't have to eat a lot of it, and you can sprinkle it in stuff. Like I put it in the oatmeal, I put flax seeds in my oatmeal, stuff like that. Like you can sprinkle it in there, sprinkle in whatever, and it don't really taste like shit. Like if you just eat them by themselves, it just tastes like some nuts, some dry ass nuts.
I think for me, like it's.
I get the powder too, flaxseed powder. Yeah, just put it in whatever.
Oh, okay. But I think for me, like, maybe you're right. But it's just for me, like I got steel cut oats, right? And I'll just eat them plain. I'm on the road a lot, so it's like, and I don't have a microwave in my work truck, so it's like I don't have the convenience to prepare a lot of stuff. Like unless I stop at a truck, so I actually don't have a lot of time to even do that. Like when I stop, I need to go to sleep. Like
yeah.
So yeah, so it's kind of different. But I'll just like take whatever supplement raw and like drink some water after it. That's my way of doing it. Or like today, which I realize now, I gotta chill out on the orange juice. Yeah, it has no sodium or cholesterol, but it does have the sugar. So I put my fiber supplement in I took some creatine as well, and I put it in the orange juice, not together but separately, and drunk them like that.
Oh, okay. And the flax seeds, the thing that I'm saying is like you get nutrients from that because that has a lot of good omega-3s.
Yeah.
And you can't get that anywhere but fish. Mm-hmm. Like it's a few things where you can get it. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's good to have because you can get it easily through that. But you can always take like fish oil too. If you don't like that, you can get fish oil supplements. Mm-hmm. It's always better to get your nutrients from food, but that don't mean that supplementation is bad. More people, period, not just Americans, but more people, period, probably need more supplementation. A lot of people are against it, and give or take, there is a debate like how much you absorb, and it is true you don't absorb the whole supplement, like whatever's in there, like you're not absorbing that whole thing. A lot of that is going to waste. Or some of it's going to waste. It's not the full whatever's on the bottle, just because of how your body just digests stuff. But it's better than it ain't nothing, especially if you can't get it naturally. Like you don't just be like, oh, I can't get it naturally, so I can't get it. Hey, no.
Yeah, I think I need to try the powder flaxseed. And for me though, my experience with chia seed was I would just be on the road like eating it dry, drinking, but I had problems with that because not to get too what you call it, into detail, but it would come out. I would have trouble. It was too dry.
You probably, I was about to say, you're probably having too much. Like, you probably shouldn't be eating it like that. Yeah, and then I having too much.
It would be hard to pass.
Because it's fiber. It's fiber and all that stuff. Like you still got to drink a whole lot of water,
right?
A whole lot of, especially. I mean, that's even more. Like you should be drinking even more water if you're having like chia seeds, anything that's high fiber. Like you should probably drink water with it and drink water after you eat it or take it or whatever.
I probably wasn't getting enough water.
You need a lot of water. Cause I mean, depending on where you at, that's a good thing. You know what I mean? When it's dry, like that's a good thing not to get too gross. But you know what I mean? When especially you drive trucks, like you going in different bathrooms or whatever. Like I'm sure it ain't the greatest experience.
Oh yeah, I like for my bathroom experience, when I like to I like privacy. Like I like to go.
Yeah, I think everybody does.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's a joke, a running joke at like with work people. Like I was watching something the other day and they were like, here, I sketched out the route to the best bathroom and shit in. And I'm like, yo, that's a real dude right there. Like that's your boy. Like I don't care. You start a job and a motherfucker come over and be like, yo, here's the best bathroom and shit in. Like that's your boy. That y'all gonna be friends for life because that's some real shit. Like that's real. Like I like privacy too. I hate going at work.
And what I can do with my work is I can use my free showers that I get, from when I use my membership card at the certain truck stops. When I get fuel, it gives me free showers,
okay.
So I can just go in the shower. That's
wild, man. Truck driving life is crazy. Like just to hear that, like that's foreign to me. But you're like, yeah, I get the free shower, and I'm like, my shower's always free. but I feel you. Yeah. Like you on the road, you on the road, and you can't, you got to go somewhere. Yeah. Like that's because wild.
I'd rather
so they making money.
I'd rather go in the shower room and do the number 2 than go in the regular restroom and gotta smell other people, hear other people.
Yeah, I hear you get the privacy. I mean, it's normal. Everybody does it. So.
I mean, that's what we've been talking about with all this fiber talk.
Yeah, really. The fiber talk. Fiber talk. But yeah, that's real. Never knew why my grandparents back in the day be like, gotta get your fiber in. Now you know. Now we know. Yeah. So all the young people out there, if y'all listening, take care of yourselves. Take care of yourselves.
I remember I used to go like a week, like without.
Jesus Christ. Woo! Yeah, that's not good at all. That's bad for your system too. So you been watching any Olympics?
No, but I've been hearing about them. But
I've been glued. I love the Olympics. I think I said that last podcast or the podcast before. But man, people been doing their thing too. Like United States been doing their thing. Simone Biles been doing her thing, and I'm glad because everybody was shitting on her when she took her break. For her mental health.
So I got a question for you.
That's real.
Is she the catch now?
What do you mean?
Now that she's winning more awards. Is she? You don't remember that whole thing with her and her boyfriend, where her boyfriend was on camera?
She been the catch.
Okay.
Like she was the catch then.
Okay.
Her boyfriend fucking nuts. Like she, what was he doing? What did he do? Not that matters for your worth.
I think it was about.
Not that matters for your worth as a human. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But he was bugging.
Was it about his looks?
I think, or I don't know. I mean, she's not a bad looking girl.
No.
Like, at all.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was about. I don't know what it was about, but I mean, they seem happy, so you know, I can't comment on their relationship. But yeah, he was bugging when he said that shit. Yeah, that was wild. But yeah, did you see the dude from Turkey in the gun shooting competition?
No.
Yo, when I tell you, first of all, that shit is wild. Like the gun shooting competition, I'm like, yo, they sending hitmen to the Olympics. That's what they doing. Cause he came, he had his little shorts on, sneakers. He had no equipment but the gun. Like everybody else got like these eye things and these slings and stuff. I don't know. I might be getting it wrong, but you know, if you've seen it, like people have a lot of equipment. Like the girl won gold. She was a beast too. She was out there and she was looking at the camera like, yeah, I know. Like I know. But I think he won silver. Silver or bronze? No, I think silver. But yeah, he came. He ain't had no equipment, no nothing. Had little his regular glasses on, had little shorts on. Pop, 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 pop. They said Turkey sent a hitman to the Olympics because he looked like like if you seen him walking down the street, you wouldn't look twice at him. You know, this little dude like with glasses and little white dude. Well, he's Turkish, but yeah, little white dude with glasses, and he's like pop, 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 pop. Just out there shooting and winning the silver medal.
I might have to look that up.
I still ain't see breakdancing yet. I think one of the competitions already happened. I've been looking for it because I watch it on Peacock. Got everything all night. Like I was watching something last night, like 12:30. They had some stuff going on because you know it's in Paris, so they got a competition all over the place. But yeah, what else was I watching? I was watching not sword fighting. Fencing. I was watching fencing. Nah, that's sword fighting to me. And dude was jumping, and they were like, see, this is what happens when a nation of kids grow up on video games. This dude was like jumping. They was like, just spam the jump button. When you're fighting in the fighting game, they like spam the jump button. Yo, he was just jumping. And dude, the other dude's like, and he's like, and he just stabbed him. And I said, yo, that's wild as hell. Like really jumping, like high, like jumping. I guess it's not illegal. I don't know the rules. But that shit was hilarious. And the other thing is I don't know nobody's name. As you see, I'm just saying dude from so-and-so. Half the time I don't know where they're from either. I'm just watching. I know the Americans. I know that. Handball is another thing that I am severely invested in and never watched the sport before. Like where they're running around the court, it's kind of like soccer, but they grabbing the ball by their hand. I have no idea what the rules are because they just be having the ball and be hitting each other, be spinning around each other and throwing it at each other and catching it. And I'm like, what the hell is this game? But I watched this shit for like 2.5 hours the other day and I couldn't stop watching. Like it was so... It's fast paced and it has a lot of stuff, a lot going on.
And you didn't figure it out?
No.
Okay.
2 hours and I didn't figure out how to play. I mean, I figured some, like I saw some of the formations they were doing, some of the defense. It's almost like soccer, but I didn't figure. I don't know how you get penalties. Like people's getting penalties, and I guess it's penalties or fouls or I don't know. But they were like being rough. And I'm like, how you get a foul? Like, what you gotta do to get a foul? And then they would get a foul, and I'm like, what he do to get a foul? Like, this other dude punched this dude in the face, and he ain't get no foul. Like, what's happening? Like, he punched him in the face and took the ball and ran back and scored. Like, what is... That wasn't a foul?
Like literally?
No, okay. I'm being facetious, but, I mean, it was, like, rough. Like, they were rough, and everything was good. And I'm like, well, what constitutes a foul or whatever? I don't even know if it was a foul or if it was just like that play was wrong. Like I don't know if it was defense set up. Could have been defense set up, but yeah, maybe I wasn't watching as carefully as I could have been, but I watched it for like 2 hours and it was extremely interesting.
Yeah, it sounds like it was entertaining, and it kind of made me think, is it similar to football?
No, It's not similar to football. Rugby's the other thing that I like watching. Women's rugby. I've been watching women's rugby. I don't even want to watch the men. These women are a fucking beast. And I mean in a good way. Like, they are insane. It's one girl that, and what's her name? So yeah, but the women's rugby. I mean, I'm sure the men's rugby is good too. I just haven't paid too much attention to it. My cousin plays rugby. Shout out to him. At least he did play rugby at one time. You all right?
Yeah. No, ever since I was watching this dude on Instagram, you know, he put like what you call it, impersonating Eminem, where he's rhyming so many words and he's rhyming like Eminem. Like, I've been like kind of rhyming in my head. Like when you was rhyming, I was like rugby. My cousin played rugby. Like I just was rhyming in my head or trying to rhyme. Like something that you make me want to check out the Olympics. I've been hearing about the basketball.
Yeah, the basketball been good. I know they've been killing it, at least till now. Like,
wait, what happened?
I don't know.
Okay.
Like, I don't know if anything's gonna happen by the
So
time
are
this
they
episode
undefeated?
goes up. Yeah, right now.
Okay.
Yeah. I was watching them play South Sudan the other day, and they had trouble with them in the earlier rounds before the Olympics, like in the preliminaries when they was doing the trials, I guess. Yeah, they had trouble with them. They had a little trouble when they just played them, but they pulled away and ended up winning by like almost 30, I think. They look good.
It's probably something to see LeBron and Steph playing on the same team with each other.
Yeah, they look good. They keep comparing them to the first Dream Team, but I don't. Even the players are like, nah, we ain't that. But it's close though. Like with the talent they got on there, yeah, it's close. But LeBron been killing it, and of course the haters always got something to say. He been killing it, and the only thing I keep hearing is, "Well, why didn't he do that in the regular season?" I'm like, this mugs can't win. He can't win with the haters, because that's all you are right now if you don't like him.
So, did you watch that clip I seen you? It was of course when he was younger and he played against Kobe.
Yeah, when he played against Kobe. Yeah,
and Kobe was getting the better of him.
Yeah,
that was something.
Yeah, that was his first year, I think. Was it? He was on the Cavs. I think that was the first go around when he was on the Cavs. I don't know what year it was. Might have been their first meeting. I don't know. Yeah, Bronny's been getting his footing a little bit better.
And his game seems somewhat like his dad's.
Yeah, I think that's inevitable. He's not as big as his dad, but
he's 6'2", right?
Yeah, yeah, and he's not as wide. His brother's doing this thing. I just watched it recently. I don't know if it was an all-star game or something, because it was a lot of different players there. Like, it was Chris Paul's son. It's a shame. I hate saying son, but that's how they frame him. It was Chris Paul's son, Melo's son. Melo's son was killing it. Who else? It was a few people, but they looked like they were all on the same team. I know some of them go to the same high school, but they all don't. So I don't know what type of game. It might have been exhibition. It might have been summer league or something. Well, it had to be summer league. It's summertime. So that's probably what it was. It's probably some type of summer league game, because there's a bunch of nice dudes on the same team. It's weird though to see, because it's almost like it's the age-old question of nurture or nature. You know, and with them being basketball players, it's hard to tell. Like, it's probably a bit of both.
Yeah,
because
I think it's both,
and also a bit of DNA. I think it is nature, because of their athletic ability is probably nature. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then they nurture them to hone that athletic ability just naturally because they play basketball. So they're like, oh, well, let's just play ball. They probably just been around it so much that they get interested in playing because we've seen it not work out like Michael Jordan's sons.
Mhm.
And I think that's a lot of pressure to be a son of a great NBA player. And people going to, because they're always going to compare you. They're always going to try to say, oh, well, that's little such and such, so he got to be good. Not necessarily. But yeah, Bronny's getting his footing, so that's cool. You seen any movies lately?
I saw a short biography on Luther Vandross on YouTube, which was pretty good because I was very young, when he was doing this thing, early on in the 80s,
You always make me feel old when you say you be like, yeah, I was like 2 when he was doing his thing.
Well,
I was 11 taping his videos. Nah.
Well, you're like 5 years older than me, right?
Yeah, I'm 48.
Yeah, I'm 40. I'll be 43 this year. So you're like 5 to 6 years, five and some change.
Yeah.
So
I'll be 49 this year.
Okay. So so there are some things I didn't know, but I don't know that the average person would know these things anyway because I don't know if those certain things were exposed. Like he had a car accident. He was successful, and he had a car accident, and there was a guy and his brother in the car. The one guy was someone he was working on an album with because he heard the guy and he heard his voice, and so the album was done. And they was in the car and there was an accident. And I think maybe I know that the brother of the guy who he was doing the album with, the brother died.
I didn't know that.
And so you did know that?
No.
Oh,
No.
and then the family sued Luther Vandross and, for like $650,000.
He was driving?
Yeah, he was driving.
Yeah, that'll work.
And then also another part of it was so Luther Vandross, he said in the biography that I think it was out of depression or loneliness he would go to eat. That was his thing. He would eat.
I did see him say that in something.
And they were talking about how earlier on he was in love with somebody, but the person didn't feel the same. So he felt rejected. And so at one point when he got real thin, according to the biography, that was when he was really happy. He was in a relationship. They didn't know. Nobody knew. I guess in general, people didn't know who he was in a relationship with, whether it was a man or a woman. Nobody knew. And so then, one of according to the biography, his drummer died from a self-inflicted fall. That's how they put it. And then Luther, he gained all.
What's that mean? Did he kill himself or?
That's what it sounds like.
That's weird. That's a weird way to put it.
Yeah,
self-inflicted fall. But I mean, they're changing terminologies all the time.
So after that happened, like Luther Vandross gained a bunch of weight, and so it made me think, and they didn't say it in the biography, was that who he was in a relationship with?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what it made me think. But it was very good. Like hearing how he came up admiring certain singers, and then got to work with them singers, and then got to even like help produce one of them, which that didn't go well. They were like at odds with each other because he was younger, and the older singer, I forget who exactly it was, but she was like, "Well, I'm a legend. Like, how you telling me what to do?" Like,
true.
So, but it's really good. Like
ego.
Yeah, and then also like at the end, it was like he had a stroke from hypertension.
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
then he passed away. So it just had me thinking again too about my own health.
Yeah.
But
It sounds like it's pretty good.
Yeah, it was
I gotta
good.
check that out. I gotta check the other doc you told me about out Little Richard too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it the other day. I actually put it in my list.
What is it? I Am Everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, but yeah, Luther was the man. But yeah, I know he went through a lot of stuff, and it's like, I like Luther's music, but I just never really like deep dived in. Like, he was never an artist that I wanted to really deep dive into and find out his history or whatever. Not that I had anything against. Like, I'll probably watch the doc when I got time. Just because I'm interested in music docs and musicians and stuff. I just like stuff like that. I'm interested in people's lives anyway, like nonfiction. Like I like documentaries.
Yeah, and not too long ago I saw another one on YouTube about George Michael.
Oh, okay.
And that was pretty good too. Like I didn't, you learn things you didn't know about people because especially like that was like I was younger. That was in the 80s.
Yeah.
I was
when I was old. Nah. I remember listening to him on the radio. I remember, you probably don't remember, when there was no black radio. Like,
not real. No,
you don't remember that? No Power 99. No. Yeah, it was just. I know people remember. If you're old enough, it wasn't black radio. Like, it wasn't specific genres. It was like you might hear George Michael. You might hear. And I think that's why black people are so fond of some of the earlier non-black acts. Like even some rock and roll and stuff like earlier. Like you see a lot of black people that listen to that. And that's why. Because there wasn't, and I think that is maybe one of the negatives of having like a certain genre radio. Because although that might be your favorite genre, you might hear something that you like. Like there's a lot of stuff that I got turned on to, like Guns N' Roses. I had their tape. Def Leppard I listened to Elton John. Of course, like Hall and Oates was like, they were white, but that was like universal. Hall and Oates. It's some acts that just had some stuff. But I think there's a lot of acts that I wouldn't have really listened to if I didn't have to. And then I like their music. So I got accustomed to them. Pet Shop Boys. Like, it is wild. And younger people don't remember that when there was a time when it wasn't Power 99. I remember when Power 99 first started. I was hyped because I was into hip hop. So I thought I would hear a lot of hip hop. And I did. They had the nightly shows at 1 o'clock in the morning. I used to have to stay up for. Yeah, though. Who else you would hear a lot? All the classics, like white artists that got classics. I think that's why, because the radio didn't really have a genre. They just played good music.
The Equalizer with Queen Latifah.
Oh yeah, I think we mentioned it for a minute.
We did. Okay.
I think maybe a little bit, but
okay. Yeah, that. And,
yeah, I still got to finish that. I don't think some people didn't like it. Some people didn't think it was convincing. But I don't think people understand what the concept of the Equalizer is. I think because of, I know I heard people laughing at the way she runs because she runs like she's older. But I'm like, that's the Equalizer though. Like that's the whole point of the Equalizer. Even the old show. I mean, that's where it come from. Like the old show was where it started. But it was an old washed up guy, like basically that came home and he's injured and has all this other stuff, but he got these skills. And that's the same thing with Denzel's movie. He just is a little more capable seeming than probably than he should be, but I mean, it is what it is.
You've seen a new movie.
Oh yeah. Deadpool?
Yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, man. So yeah, it was a good movie.
Okay.
It was a good movie.
Out of 5 stars. What would you give it?
5 stars. I'll give it. Man, it's hard. Like I could storyline, I would give like 3.5 stars to tell you the truth. Just to be honest, I don't think the story was the strongest story, but I understand where they were going with it, and I think it had a lot of strong moments, but some of the execution of it I didn't like as much. But overall, I would give it 4.5 stars out of 5 overall, just because of everything else. Like the comic book aspect was on point. Of course, all the Deadpool movies, mostly the comic book aspect been on point, but it was like a love letter. And some of the stuff I say may be spoily. I try to keep it because I know you ain't seen it.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna say too much.
All right.
But for the listeners, I know what you already had spoiled, so I may talk about that. So just know it may be spoily from here if you haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it by now, you already know you're gonna get spoiled if you're on social media. But yeah, the love letter is basically like a love letter to all the old Fox movies that Marvel, Fox bought the rights to Marvel, so they were making all the X-Men, all the X-Men characters and villains and all those movies. So it was like a love letter to all that stuff, all the Marvel movies, I should say, not just X-Men, but all the old Marvel movies, including, you already know, Blade. So yeah, I mean, that was the first Marvel movie, and that was the one that saved them from bankruptcy. So basically. So yeah, it's cool that they brought him back, but there's a lot of surprises in there. A lot of things I didn't realize was going to happen. A lot of things I thought was going to happen and didn't happen. I'm kind of glad, because when I saw the previews, I was like, man, they be showing too much shit. They ain't show nothing.
Okay.
Let me put it that way.
Okay.
They showed nothing. None of the, and that's what I like. I love that. They had 3 trailers before the movie came out. And I didn't even look at the last trailer because I was like, man, they just be showing too much. I was already mad I looked at the other 2 because I thought they showed it, but they ain't show nothing. They ain't show nothing. And I love when that happens. There was a lot of stuff in there that was surprising, and I was surprised I didn't get spoiled because I didn't go right away. I went on the Sunday after it came out, and 3 days for a movie like that is a year. Like, I think it grossed 200 and some million, the most ever of any movie in the opening weekend, I think.
Oh yeah.
I'm live fact checking here. I don't like being on my phone on the pod, but I'm a live fact check. So Deadpool they smashed the record for the highest grossing R-rated movie. So that's the caveat, the R-rated movie. But still, that's crazy. I think it doubled. I think it did more this weekend than both of the first 2 movies combined.
In total?
Yeah. In the box office. Or at least the weekends. I think they compared the weekends. Okay. First 2 movies combined, this did more in the first weekend than the first 2 movies combined.
Oh, wow. Well, that makes sense because you got Wolverine in there, too.
Yeah, yeah. And I think they did all that right, too. And of course, everybody knew it was going to be multiversal stuff in there. So all that multiversal stuff was great.
Because that's how they was able to bring him in there anyway.
Yeah. That's how they were able to bring Blade in.
How was his part?
Blade's part was so great. Like, it was so... I don't know how to explain it because it was probably one of the biggest oh shit moments I've had in a movie. Even in Endgame, it was kind of, and the movie theater was like that too. It was sold out, of course, and we was in there packed. And this was, I just said like a month ago that Endgame was probably the best theater experience and the most I've heard an audience in a theater say stuff when Cap picked up the hammer. Well, it was a couple moments, but that was the biggest moment. When Cap picked up the hammer, and at the end when everybody came back, when T'Challa walked through the Doctor Strange portal and shit erupted. Like, that's how it was with Blade. When he showed up, because it was when a couple people showed, one person showed up. I'm not gonna spoil that for you because it's really good, and I'm hoping you don't get spoiled. I'm not gonna spoil it. When one person showed up, I was like, oh shit. And then later on in the movie, it's like more oh shit with this person.
Well, I know one. I know another one.
What? You ain't gotta say it.
What's his name?
You just say the person.
The guy who plays Captain America.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was talking about just now.
He comes as his character in Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Oh, you already know that. Oh,
Yeah,
so you don't got spoiled all the good shit.
Not all of it.
Nah, not all of it. It's some more. But those were the two of the biggest moments because everybody thought it was Cap. Like when he came up, everybody thought it was Cap because the way his suit was and everything, like he was, he had like a hood on and he was covered up and he had like wraps on and it looked like the Captain America uniform, but it was the Fantastic Four uniform. And I was like, and then there was a part, like it was a big space before you knew. So they were talking, whatever. Then they were about to fight. And he jumps up and he's like, flame on. And he turns into the Human Torch. And I'm like, oh shit. Like this motherfucker is the Human Torch because he played both people. So I think that was like a super meta moment. Like Deadpool's meta anyway. He just knows about himself. Breaks the fourth wall and all that shit. But it just had a lot of meta moments. And then when this ain't really, she's not a big character, but I saw Elektra and I'm like, from the Ben Affleck Daredevil movies.
Okay.
And she looked exactly the same. Jennifer Garner.
Yeah.
She looked exactly the same. It's cool that they got every fucking body. Even like, I'm going to say so much, but I don't want to spoil it for you. But like villains, everybody was the person. They got mad people that I didn't know they were gonna get, and of the same people. They ain't recast nobody. So when I seen her, I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "That's wild. Who's that supposed to be?" And then I seen her size, and I'm like, "This is electric." And so I seen her, and there's a couple other people. They like formed a little team, and actually, there is a team with Blade, her, Daredevil, Punisher. Basically, Midnight Suns is the team, and like they talk about Punisher, and there's a couple other people. But when Blade comes down, like he drops down, and when you see Wesley Snipes, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like everybody's like, oh shit. And he has the suit on. He is a little smaller because Wesley's smaller than he was then. But I don't know if it's him. It looks like him. They did some good ass work if it's not him doing the fighting. But he ain't lost a step if it is him doing the fighting. Like I'm hoping. I didn't do enough research. I'm definitely want to see it again. I'm definitely gonna go see it again. Either here, I'm either gonna watch it here, or I'm gonna go to movies again. But like he still got it. Like he still got it, even though he's just skinnier. But everything, like everything in that, his weapons, all that shit, his punchlines, like everything he said, and the fact that all these people had a big ass role in the movie. Like I thought they were just gonna be cameos, but they were displaying like it's one scene in there where they all fighting, and that shit is so dope. Just to see him fight, but everybody really, just to see everybody from like some of the past movies, get it on. People get killed. Of course, it's Deadpool. But and they're not using any of these characters anymore, really. And I saw an interview with Wesley Snipes, and he said he ain't talked to Ryan Reynolds in like 10 years. He said they they got into a little bit, but it wasn't no bad blood there. And they like people, they kind of played it up more than it was. Like they talked to each other before this, but it was like 10 years ago. But he was like, even then, like we weren't mad at each other. We talked to each other, and it was fine. But people thought they were mad at each other more than they were. So they just was like, fuck it, you know, let them think whatever they want. So he said Ryan just called him out the blue and was like, hey, you know, Deadpool movies, we're going with Marvel now, and you think you want to play Blade again? And he said, he was like, what the fuck? Like, what are you talking about? He said they got Ursula. And he said, I didn't think it was going to happen. I didn't think Kevin Feige was going to let it go. He's like, I ain't think. But he said, oh, Kevin already said it's fine. He was like, he already said, you know, bring him back if he'll come back. So
that's interesting.
He said, fuck it. He was like, Ryan call you after 10 years and be like, play Blade one last time. And he's like, fuck it, what you gonna say? No. He said, so as long as, he said, I just wanted it to be right. I didn't want it to look crazy. He's like, I ain't want it to be, and it did. It was right.
That's something, because so the stuff I heard about Blade 3 and what went wrong there, it's not true. I've heard stuff about it. I heard that Wesley Snipes just had a bad attitude, and you know, him and Ryan Reynolds didn't get along.
Yeah. Well, they said they clashed, you know, but he was like, it wasn't deep.
Okay.
Like it was shit that he didn't feel the movie was going right direction. And when it came out, it was, I mean, he was right, because that's the worst one.
Do you know, when I think about it, I had never heard him speak on it.
Yeah, I never heard him speak on it back then. But this interview I just saw was the longest interview I've heard him talk about Blade, really. Like I've never heard him speak about any of it except the fact that he always wanted to be Blade, and I know he was mad that they didn't ask him to be Blade again for the new movies. But he said he wasn't so mad, where he understood. He's like, I'm fucking old. He's like, I understand.
Oh, that's what it was?
I think so.
Okay.
Because even though Mahershala Ali ain't the youngest, but he's just in a lot better shape. He look younger than he is. Mahershala Ali is he like 54, I think. Something like that, 53. But Wesley Snipes gotta be like 60, I think. Or over 60 maybe. But anyway, I think that's why. But Blade, the movie is supposed to be out before now too. So Mahershala is getting older as they go.
Yeah, I've heard they've been having complications.
Yeah, because he don't like and I'm glad, because I do think some of the stuff he's been saying, or some of the stuff that's been leaking, like every time something leaks, I'm like, yeah, that would have been trash. Like, why would they do that? So I understand. He's like, listen, if this ain't right, I don't want to do it. Like I don't want it. And he's right. Like he's that type of actor. Like he's been in a lot of stuff, and all the shit is good. Most of it is good writing. So that's what he had a problem with, the writing. But yeah, but Wesley was talking about that, and I'm sure time heals a lot. You know, time don't heal everything, but time heals a lot. So I'm sure that after 10 years, like whatever, he's probably like whatever. So
I'm glad about that.
Nah, it's cool.
Because I had recently heard somebody say, oh yeah, Ryan Reynolds would never work with Wesley again after that experience. So I'm glad to hear.
And I've heard that before too. Yeah. And maybe it's just him being intense. I don't know. Like maybe he's just that passionate. And we can see like Blade 3 is the worst one out of all three of them.
I don't even really remember it. I might have seen it.
And that's the thing.
Time.
Like, you know, people don't remember it.
Yeah.
But it was. I remember it. It was the worst one. It was the worst one, and I hated it. Like I didn't really like it that much. I liked his fighting scenes, but that was it. The direction of everything was fucking stupid. So yeah. So I think it was real. And maybe after years, maybe Ryan figured that out. Like maybe he.
And as a fan of the first two, I can't help but think like I wanted to see Blade like I don't know if I actually wanted the other two.
And that's what happened. And it was like more focused in the fact that they made them just as good as Blade. Like that's stupid. Because Blade ain't nobody. That's the reason Blade is Blade. Because can't nobody do what he do. But they diminished his character because they made the other ones like just as good as him. So yeah, I think the second one was the best.
Yeah, that second one was fire. Well, the first one was
well, I mean, the first one was, nothing I ever seen. Because when I saw the first one, I think I saw Blade like once in a comic book, and that was it. Like I didn't know hardly anything about him. I didn't know too much, and that's unusual for me. I didn't even realize Marvel made it. Now I look at the credits and it says Marvel, but I wasn't, I was younger, so I just was like, yo, this bitch got a sword and he killing vampires. Like, this shit's crazy. So
that opening scene.
That opening scene when he was in the club, like that was just crazy. When I first went to see it, I thought it was a horror movie. And I didn't know, like I said, I didn't know nothing about it, but that opening scene was like, that's all I needed. Like I wanted a sword after that. I'm like, I'm going to get me a sword.
I would have to rewatch them. Like I can't right now
I just saw the first and second.
And you can say for you the second one is the best.
I think the second one is the best as far as movie wise.
Okay.
I mean, I can separate, and see, that's what I don't think a lot of people can do. I can separate my feelings. Like it didn't give me the same feels that the first one did, but I think it was a better movie than the first one. A lot of people can't separate themselves. I just said that the other day, like the Marvel needs saving people. Like I don't think Marvel needs saving. I don't think what's come out after Endgame is bad. I think a lot of it is good. There have been little missteps here and there, little stuff with villains, but I think a lot of people are comparing a movie, two movies, Infinity War and Endgame. I think people are comparing two movies that were a combination of 10 years of character building into these two movies. You're never going to get that feeling again in your life. Like in a superhero genre, if you were into that, you're never going to get that. Like, unfortunately. Like that's never going to happen again. You can't compare that to what's coming out now. I feel like because it's kind of like they kind of started over. And I don't even think you can get that with this because it's already done. Like I don't think you can grab that feeling again.
So it just has to be like new.
Yeah, you have to look at it for what it is. Like, I think everybody's comparing it to Endgame and that feeling they had at Endgame, and I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. Physically.
And I think I heard like this is rumored to be it. Like far as like I don't know if they're doing another Deadpool movie. Oh,
a full Deadpool movie? Yeah, I don't think so either. At least not in this context. I mean,
and I don't know if
he'll be in.
Hugh Jackman's coming back again either.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But if it make enough money, who knows, right?
I mean, that's always true. At least they will try. Now, I think Ryan, if he really wants it not to be another one, I don't think he would do it.
He don't need didn't he just sell Mint Mobile for like?
Yeah, he's not the only owner, but they sold it for like $1 billion. Yeah, like he fine. Yeah. I mean, he was fine before that. Yeah. So I don't, and for him, I think that's why these movies are good and on point compared to any other time they try to do Deadpool. Is because he's passionate about the character. Like he likes the character and he wanted it right. And I don't think he'll just do a movie because it made money. Like Zex will green like that shit quick. I think they will now. Like after, if he went to him and was like, I want to do Deadpool 4, that should be green lit in a minute. But
I mean, I think a reason to do it would be for the fans, you know.
If they want it, but I wouldn't want them to do another one.
No,
I think it's good. Yeah, I think it's good right now. I mean, he'll be in the newer Marvel movies. He'll be involved in that. As Deadpool.
Okay.
Yeah, I totally believe that, especially after watching this. I think that was kind of the reason of this movie. I think I was saying it earlier. Like they was kind of writing a love letter to all the older Fox movies, and at the same time bringing him into the MCU. So I think that he'll be seen definitely again in another movie, I think.
Did you want to say anything else about this movie? Because I thought of a segue to something similar, a similar topic in this realm.
In this vein.
Yeah. Because you spoke
I'm good because any more is going to be spoily territory.
Because you spoke about villains. So how do you feel about Robert Downey Jr.?
I was just going to talk about that.
Okay.
Me personally, I'm fine with it.
That's Doomsday.
Dr. Doom.
Oh, Dr. Doom.
Yeah. Doomsday is the actual movie.
No, but
that's the movie.
Okay.
That's the movie.
Because I was a little confused.
No, it's Dr. Doom is the villain.
I thought
Doomsday is a Superman villain.
Right. Yeah.
Doomsday is a Superman villain.
Okay.
But Doomsday is the title of the Avengers, one of the Avengers movies. The reason I'm okay with it, there's 3 reasons I'm all right with it. It's Robert Downey Jr. That's the first one. Second one is in the comics, they've had storylines, couple storylines. Now, one of those storylines is a what if, which what if is, the imaginary different type of stories. But in a couple storylines, he actual Dr. Doom became Iron Man. And also, I think it's three different ones. That in one storyline, Dr. Doom became Iron Man. Not Iron Man becoming Dr. Doom. But the other storyline, Dr. Doom switched consciousness of him and Tony. Okay. So he was Tony Stark, but it was Dr. Doom. So, but I don't think that's what they're doing here. I just bring that up because it is some comic precedence. Third reason I'm okay with it is because the Russo brothers are directing it. So I don't think they're going to fuck up whatever they do. Whatever rationale they come up with why he's Dr. Doom, I think it'll be fine. Like people are losing their mind either one side or the other. And I've learned I don't judge anything since Ben Affleck's Batman. Because when they first announced he was going to be Batman, I was pissed. And to me, he's one of the best Batman that ever been Batman. Regardless of how you feel about the movies. I know some people don't
I
like
actually
him.
wanted to see more of him as Batman.
I did too. Like I said, I think he was one of the best Batman. Like Bruce Wayne can be up in the air. I actually think, I think he was a good Bruce Wayne too. But I actually think, Michael Keaton is probably the best Bruce Wayne. Just the way he act and carried himself as Bruce Wayne. But I mean, Batman is more important. You want a good Batman. I think Ben Affleck is one of the best to ever do it.
I think I did enjoy seeing him in the suit more than out of the suit.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think he played a different type of Bruce Wayne.
Which, I mean...
He would have been a good dad. Like, when he played Bruce Wayne, I seen him as Thomas Wayne, which is his dad. Okay. And then a different universe, his dad becomes Batman because his wife and Bruce get killed. So, in Flashpoint, Flash goes into a different universe. Okay. It's kind of like the movie, but Flashpoint is more deeper than the movie. It's a lot deeper.
What's Flashpoint?
It's a storyline in the comic. There's actually an animated series or animated movie too, which was dope. Okay. DC animation is fucking fire. All they shit is dope. But I digress. But yeah, and Ben Affleck would have been a good Thomas Wayne, I think. I think that's how, because he used guns. Thomas Wayne used guns in his universe, and he's super big. To get back to our original topic of Robert Downey Jr., yeah, I'm good. That's my 3 reasons. I'm good with him. Now, I understand people's gripes. Like they're saying a different actor can play him. Like, why not give somebody else a chance? But I actually think maybe.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Okay.
A lot of people are. I know a lot of people are upset because they're like, "How you gonna bring Iron Man?" I'm not, because I'm a comic book reader. So this the shit they do. They just applying it to the movies. People ain't used to it though. Just like the multiverse, like people ain't used to. But it's always been a thing in the comics. That's why I can't nobody. Even now, with Deadpool. They keep saying that Logan dying don't matter no more, and Tony Stark, and they're saying Tony Stark snap, it don't matter no more. But I'm like, that don't matter. It does matter, because those two are two different people.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand that. They can't get it. Like those people are still dead. Like Tony Stark is still dead. This ain't Tony Stark being Dr. Doom. This is just Robert Downey Jr. playing Dr. Doom, which I'm sure they're going to explain why he looks like Tony Stark. I'm sure. Like there's no way that they don't explain it, and explain it well. The Russo brothers. I'll be very surprised if these movies suck. Because what did they direct? They direct the best Marvel movies ever. I think that's why they brought them in. The Winter Soldier, which is my favorite. That's my number one Marvel movie. Above Endgame and Infinity War. I know that's not a popular opinion, but they directed Infinity War, Endgame. So they got Winter Soldier, one of the best movies. Infinity War and Endgame, one of the best movies. What's the other movie they directed? I can't even think. I have a care in the world. What you think about it? You got an opinion about it?
Only thing is, like, just someone who's not so much into the comics, who likes the movies. I want to see Robert Downey Jr. in these movies again. Like, that it will be entertaining.
And I think that's another reason they did it. For your perspective, like I think people want to see him in movies again, so they kind of using his face card as well, and I think that's where a lot of the criticisms are coming from too. They're like, oh, they're bringing back Robert Downey Jr. to save the MCU because it's been trash. You already know I don't feel that way.
You have any opinion on Jonathan Majors' name has been thrown in this, and
yeah, I saw an interview. I think TMZ stopped him on the street, and they had asked him, "Is he upset?" TMZ be asking some wild ass questions, but I digress. But he was saying, he was like, Robert Downey Jr. is a great actor, and he said he think he'll do a good job, and Dr. Doom's a great villain. But he said, of course I'm upset. I don't know how I feel, because I like Kang, and I think Kang is a good villain. And I don't know. I think they'll bring Kang back. I don't know if it'll be him. They got the multiverse, so all the Kangs don't look alike. So they probably bring somebody else as Kang. I was hoping. I was looking forward to seeing what Kang was going to do, especially because I think he's a hell of an actor as well. Yeah. So they're both great actors. So, I mean, I'm not mad, though, because Dr. Doom is one of my top villains. And I hope I don't know, MCU gotta, and maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're going to kill him and then bring in the real Dr. Doom or something. I don't know. But MCU got a villain problem, I think. I think that's one of their biggest problems.
Kill who?
Dr. Doom. Well, Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. Or get rid of him, or be in a different. The thing is, Fantastic Four is not taking place in our universe. So that's another thing. And they said he's going to be in the Fantastic Four. So I assume that it is bringing a different universe as Dr. Doom. That's the only assumption I got.
I'm a little confused.
Well, yeah, I was jumping a little bit, but
okay.
But what you confused about?
No, when you said it's not our universe. The
Yeah,
Fantastic
616
Four.
is our universe. That's where the Avengers are, the Avengers we know.
Okay.
But in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, that's when they established all the other universes. Fantastic Four ain't in 616. It's in a different universe taking place back in the 60s or 70s, but with newer technology. Like they're more advanced. The universe that they're in is more advanced than us in 616. So all the universes are named in the comics. All the universes were named numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So you had like, if you notice in some of the movies, if you go back and watch, they say different numbers. They say universe 616. Even in Spider-Man Homecoming, or not Homecoming, the second one with Mysterio, when he says I'm from universe 939 or something like that, even though he was lying. He, spoiler alert, but that's real. Like that's a real thing. That's why they threw it in there. So Fantastic Four isn't from our universe. And I suspect the X-Men isn't from our universe either. But they're going to be in our universe probably eventually.
So let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
You might not have the answer to this.
Okay.
The Fantastic Four, where Michael B. Jordan is the Human Torch, is that a whole different other universe?
That's Fox. Like none of those movies make any sense.
But who made the Fantastic Four with Chris Evans in it?
Fox.
Okay.
They just rebooted it and tried to, but it flopped. It wasn't a good movie. It wasn't a great movie. I didn't like it.
No?
Mm-mm.
I didn't think it was terrible.
Well, I'm looking from comic book eyes.
Okay.
I watched it recently, not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Because I watch comic book movies over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Like just to, sometimes I if I have some free time, I'll watch an older comic book movie just to see. And it wasn't as terrible as I thought it was when I first saw it, but it still wasn't great.
You know what I want to say?
Greatly written.
Sorry to jump around here, but when we were talking about Blade 2, I just thought there was a scene in that movie that was completely CGI, right? And usually,
why, when they were fighting?
Yeah.
With the lights?
Yeah, but I didn't mind it. It was so cool. I didn't even mind it.
No. It was just a couple places that looked weird, but I didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like it didn't take me out.
Yeah,
most of it was pretty good CGI. Yeah. Like it wasn't bad CGI, especially for that time. Mm-hmm. Like that was a while ago.
Yeah.
Like, so it wasn't bad CGI at all. But yeah, you could tell it was CGI.
Yeah, but it was pretty cool.
It was still dope.
Yeah,
it was dope scene.
Doom, what's his name?
Dr. Doom.
Dr. Doom. He probably has to meet us in at some point, but
he don't. And that's the thing. Like they never killed villains in the comics.
Oh.
And that's what I'm saying when that's what I started to say when I said they have a villain problem. Uh-huh. They kill all their good villains. Mm-hmm. And there's only so many villains, especially good ones.
Wait, so in the comic, did Thanos die?
I think he might have died, but I think he came back. See, that's the other thing though. They don't have to keep him dead.
Oh wait, so
they don't have to keep villains dead.
He didn't die in Endgame, right? Remember?
Yeah, he did.
No, at the end
he got snapped.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, they snapped all of them.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
okay.
they snapped the whole everything out of existence. Okay. So he ain't never exist. Like damn, they just snapped this bitch out of existence. Hit his home world probably like, where's Thanos?
What he wanted to do, they ended up doing to him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like the Purple Man. Purple Man was one of the best fucking villains. I mean, I know that's in Jessica Jones and Daredevil, but he was one of the best villains. And he's still an interesting villain, but they killed him.
Purple Man.
The Purple Man.
I don't know nothing about the Purple Man.
You don't know Purple Man?
No.
You ain't watched none of them?
No, Jessica Jones, no.
You watched Daredevil?
No, not really. No.
Damn, you missed the good shit. You need to watch that. I'm definitely trying to watch that again. But yeah, Daredevil.
What's the name? Was Luke Cage a part of Marvel?
Yeah, Luke Cage, like all those, and then they had a team up. Then they all teamed up because they were defenders. Mm-hmm. They all defenders. The only one Iron Fist was the only one that you could probably skip. And the only reason it got better towards the end, but he didn't train enough. Like I was pissed.
I think I saw a little.
They trained like 3 weeks. I think he trained like 3 weeks because they were rushing to get it done. So he didn't know no martial arts, and he trained like 3 weeks.
Okay.
So you can tell.
Okay.
Like you can tell. That was the biggest slap in the face when I saw that, because Iron Fist is like he above everybody, you know, as far as martial arts, and he has the fist that he can use. But that shit look crazy. He was fighting. He's like, I'm like, bitch, I could have did better than that. Sorry, whoever that actor was. He was better too with the team. I think because it was less on him, less concentration. Plus, it was the team up movie was after his 2 seasons, after her 2 seasons, after Luke Cage's and Daredevil. So Defenders came out after all those. So I think he had time to kind of get better. But yeah, he was trash. He was trash.
More
he was good
She-Hulk.
looking.
That's what I want. More She-Hulk in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, well, it's coming.
Nice. When?
But she'll be in Avengers, probably. She gotta be in the new
What's
Avengers.
Thunderbolts?
Thunderbolts is coming out. That's Black Widow. Who's on the Thunderbolts? Black Widow, Winter Soldier, Ghost from Ant-Man. Ant-Man 2. With Lawrence Fishburne was helping that girl. Did you see that?
Oh no.
Oh, Ghost. She phases in and out. She got a whole all white suit on, and she phases. Oh, you must not seen it because you would remember that.
Maybe.
Who else is on there?
I might have seen
from
it.
Black Widow.
Okay.
Her dad. A couple other people. Val. U.S. agent, dude that replaced Captain America, but later on became U.S. agent.
Okay.
Who else is on that team? Red Hawk is on that team, which Red Hawk's gonna be in Captain America. So we can talk about Captain America too. Captain America New World Order, I think that's what it's called. With Sam. I can't wait because I think it's gonna be on par with Winter Soldier. It might not be as good, but it looks like it's gonna be like espionage, like type shit. Like I love Winter Soldier because it was so grounded, yet it had a lot of superhero action, but it was just grounded. It felt grounded. It felt like it could happen for real. Not that I don't like fantasy and like I like Guardians of the Galaxy, all that shit. Like I love that shit. But Winter Soldier, there's just something about that just was grounded. Like it just felt good. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for Captain America. But I'm kind of mad they showed Red Hawk at the end of that trailer. I heard they showed him like fully at San Diego Comic-Con, which just took place a couple weeks ago. At the trailer there, they showed him giving a speech, and then he turns into Red Hawk. I guess somebody makes him mad. I don't know.
Yeah, I did see that preview. Yeah,
but yeah, I'm kind of iffy because I don't want Sam to take the super soldier serum, but he may by the end of that movie, because I don't know how he's gonna fight the Red Hawk at that. I think Red Hawk is stronger than. Well, I don't know if he's stronger than regular Hawk. I think it depends. I mean, regular Hawk technically has unlimited strength. The madder he gets, the stronger he gets, and it never runs out. So he just keep getting madder and madder and just keep getting stronger and stronger. He fucking broke a planet before in the comics. So, I mean, that's not the Hawk we've been getting. But, yeah, and I think She-Hulk, I don't know if She-Hulk's going to be on the Thunderbolts, but she's definitely she's in Avengers. She's in Avenger. She's one of the early Avengers, so I'm hoping she's in the Avengers movies.
You seen anything else?
Nah, that's it. Nothing new. I just saw that Quiet Place. Even though I ain't hear great things about it, I didn't see it. I saw that it's on streaming now. Okay. So I'll probably watch that.
I want to see
maybe later on today. I don't know. But yeah, I'll probably watch that. I didn't hear good things about it, but I take that with a grain of salt because people everybody's coming from a different place.
Mm-hmm.
Not no pun intended. Some are coming from a quiet place. Some are coming from a loud place. No, but yeah. Did you hear anything about it?
I heard something negative about it. Well, actually,
Yeah,
I heard
that's what I've been hearing.
I heard a good review, but then I heard like a person that saw it said something negative about it. So I just had to see it myself. I do want to see it. The preview does look good to me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna watch it regardless. I watch stuff for myself because a lot of times I like shit that don't nobody like. A lot of times I don't like stuff that people like. So just the nature of my brain, I guess. So I like to see stuff.
Yeah, me too. I'm like that too. Like I'll like something and the critics will be hating it, and I don't understand it. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't never go by the critics, but when I go by. I don't go by. I like looking at like the people's score on Rotten Tomatoes, and I see stuff online like different reviews on YouTube or whatever on social media, and I saw a couple people that like really like the first two that didn't like this one, so it kind of discouraged me. But then again, I'm like, where are they coming from? What are they looking at? Why they don't like it? I don't know. I didn't deep dive because I didn't want to get spoiled. But I just saw that part, so I'm like, I'm still watching it. So you ain't see it yet?
No, I think I might have listened to a spoiler review though. So
okay. Yeah,
I might know. No, I won't. I don't even remember.
Me personally, I hate spoilers, so I won't even watch a movie if I get a spoiler. No,
I do know some things about the main character, and I know the setup of it basically.
Oh, okay.
But I mean,
yeah, I didn't get anything really of that nature. They just was talking about, I guess the pacing and stuff like that.
Okay.
But again, I'm gonna still watch it.
Yeah, me too.
But did you see Trump at the Black Journalists rally?
I've heard some clips,
That shit was hilarious. Like, first of all, he need to fire his advisors, because who the fuck thought that was a good idea to go to an all black journalist event? I guess he thought, but that's the thing with narcissists. I fully believe he's a narcissist. Keep saying it. He's textbook. He probably went there thinking, oh, I'm great. Like, they're going to love me. Like, he probably went out there like, they're going to love me. I love black people. They're going to love me. Like, the shit he was saying. I don't want to get too deep into it, but
ideally, the person we want as president should be able to go there.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying anything about him. He shouldn't.
Right.
But him,
yeah.
Like knowing him and his advisors, all the stuff he said over the years, everything he's done. I don't know if that was a good move.
Yeah, I after watching it, I felt like the same thing that Joe Biden did, step down, and the Democratic Party.
He needs to step down. Yeah, exactly. I feel that too. I've been felt that. I felt like he should have stepped down after he got convicted.
It stood out to me how, like, after Sonya Massey was murdered, how Joe Biden put out a statement right away. He was a statement that was very, very aware of what went on, and then at this place, Donald Trump says he's not really that familiar with new cases going on, and then he spoke about it generally. I saw something.
Yeah, because he don't care about it. He don't care about that shit, and not saying that Joe Biden does. Or does extra, but the optics of it, he still did what you're supposed to do as a president.
Yeah,
like, regardless of if you feel like it's sincere or not, it was still done. But Trump don't care. Like he probably, and he don't want to offend his base, which is a lot of cops. A lot of cops like him because of everything he's talking about.
But
anybody that follows Trump right now, it's like, I don't know anybody that still supports him. It's only a few things. It's only a few reasons why you still support him. Like, either you're not educated enough to understand that this guy is not the one. And I think there's a lot of people out there like that, because there's so many people that go against their self-interest even to support him. And I think that's always an uneducated person. Like, anytime you're going against your self-interest, like, he's not doing anything for you. A lot of the people that are for him living poor, and he's not doing anything for you. They just like his rhetoric. And that's the other thing. Like, even the people that know like that. Like, that's the other aspect. Like, there's certain people, there's a reason Nazi organizations are supporting him. There's a reason racist organizations say he's the guy. He's my guy. Like, they like what he's saying. They like his rhetoric. They like him not denouncing shit. He's not going to ever denounce the police, even when they do wrong, because that's his base. He already said he's going to give them immunity if he gets hired to do their job.
But that's interesting, because I don't know if this is like a blanket, like, police, like, far as, like, I don't think every police officer would support, what that officer did.
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I'm saying the police support him because of the stuff that he's about.
But
like if you think every cop don't want immunity, they do. Even the good ones, like even the few good ones out there that are trying to make a difference under a shit system, they still gonna be all right with having immunity. They're just, it's just a different way that they'll probably look at it. Like, they may look at it like, oh, well, now I'm anything that I do, but they might not be erroneous with or egregious, I should say, with what they're doing. But there's other cops that are like, oh yeah, this is giving me, like, I do whatever the fuck I want.
But I would think that the good cops may not want it either, because they know that there are people that would misuse that.
Maybe, but I think you're giving them too much credit. Yeah, I don't know. And the fact that they won't. That's the other thing. Like, even though there's good cops out here, it's hard for them to speak up. They should speak up, but they won't, because there's so many other. It's the fraternity of police. Like, that's real. So even the ones that are trying to make a difference and trying to stop all that bullshit, trying not to be all wild and shit, it's hard for them, because you got a lot that got all these cops in gangs and shit. Like, they have gangs in the police force. So I don't know. It's wild. That's why we always get on a deep subject towards the end of our pod. Like, when we kind of getting close.
I know. I called earlier today, made sure my registration, my voter registration is right, and
I know that's right.
And I'm gonna be out of town that day, but
you don't vote by mail?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I always vote by mail. Yeah, I vote in every election, and I mean local, and that's the big thing. Like, I think people should concentrate on that too. I know a lot of people only vote in every 4 years or whatever, but I think local elections are a lot more. This election is problematic because of Trump and a lot of this stuff he's saying and that deal and all that shit that's going on with the Republican Party that they want to do and pass and been trying to pass and trying to do, take away everybody's rights, trying to put us back to the 1920s. But I think local elections affect a lot more than every 4 years, like than the presidency.
Yeah.
People need to vote in local elections and figure out who you're voting for, figure out who's doing what they're supposed to be doing and who's not. Because that's the biggest thing. That's where it started at. They trickle up. Like the local people, then they go to the Senate, then they get big time and start going in. Like nobody just became president. Like they all had political careers. They all start at the bottom. So I think it's important. Your local people. Plus, if you got kids, you should be voting in your local elections anyway, because that's who you're voting on the board. You're voting on the fire chief, and you're voting on the school boards and judges and stuff in your county. Like that's where you should be voting as much as you do the presidency.
But maybe I need to get more involved in that, learn more.
Yeah.
Because you're right. That's how, like, what's it? Like, is that how the, like, Supreme Court is?
Well, no, the Supreme Court is...
Or the Senate, the U.S. Senate.
Yeah, the Senate. I mean, a lot of that stuff, because you vote for your senator and all that, even the mayor, the governor, like all that stuff is very important, especially for your local politics. Because each state is weird. It's funny because I was watching a foreign, I hate saying foreigner. I mean, that's a descriptive thing when I use it, but I know a lot of people use it negatively. That's why I don't like it. But it is a descriptor. I'm using it as a descriptor, like a person that's foreign, not from here. I saw somebody, because I don't know where they were from. I just know they weren't from the U.S. I saw them talking about the U.S. and was like, I do not understand how y'all work. And I said, well, just look at it like it's 50 countries under one country, because the states are like little countries because they all do something different. There's some that do the same thing, but every state has different laws and all of that. But then they're governed all by the federal government of the United States, who has certain laws. And it's weird because they were talking about like marijuana. They're like, how's it illegal in the whole U.S., but it's not illegal in these certain states? And like, that's a rabbit hole you can go down. But that's what it is. Like, your state is like a little country. Because the government of your state is deciding different laws and different things. They still have to abide by some of the federal laws, but they don't have to, like, all their laws are not federal laws. So your state might have a different law. I mean, something simple as having a license plate on your car on the front. Like New Jersey, you're supposed to have a license plate on the front. In Pennsylvania, you don't have to have a license plate on your front. So unless they changed it, I don't know, but I know historically you ain't never had to have a license plate on the front. So a lot of people don't have a license plate on the front. It's just on the back. Something little as that. Like if you didn't like that law, well, you need to vote for somebody who don't like the law either. That's just a simple little example. It doesn't matter too much unless you get hit by somebody and you can't see their license plate. Like they back out from you. But yeah, local's where it's at.
I like the support of a lot of people for Kamala Harris. I honestly, like, maybe I should. It's like I don't know the most about Kamala Harris, but I know I don't want like police immunity, and I don't want Donald Trump to win. I know that,
Yeah.
So
that's where I'm at. I mean, I have a little bit better feel. And the other thing, like, Biden is trying to, I don't know if he's like, fuck it now, because I just saw a proposal. He was trying to propose some stuff. I know I said I was gonna get off of it, but we ain't off of it yet. Like it was a proposal deal that was kind of great. Like it was a Supreme Court. It was changing the Supreme Court how they work, because it's lifetime. Like they can be in there a lifetime, which is crazy to me. It's insane to me that you can be in this high ass important seat that makes laws for the whole nation and rules on very extremely important shit, and you can just be in it a lifetime and you can't get fired. You can't, or it's hard. It's hard as hell to get fired. You see your boy Clarence Thomas been taking bribes, taking all type of allegedly. Ain't no damn allegedly. He was in bed with a motherfucker that he's passing laws for. Basically, wife knows. It's insane. It's insane, and he's just out there still chilling, still passing laws for Donald because he letting them. You know, he let them do whatever. He appointed half them people. And that's the other thing. Like they said, they're going to try to take the election to the courts. And that's what happened with George Bush. If people remember, George Bush ain't win. He took it to court. And the court said he won, basically. And I don't think people remember that. And, you know, that's how he won.
He won off the electoral votes, right?
Well, he won off the Supreme Court saying that, I don't know if they were recounting. It was so close, but they were like, stop all that shit. He won, basically.
Okay.
And that's basically how it is. Now, Trump won off electoral.
Okay.
Like, Trump actually, in the preliminary, he lost to Hillary by like 1 million votes. But everybody... And that's the problem I have with the Democratic Party. Like if they really want to win, they don't be putting their best foot forward all the time. And they was acting like they had it in the bag and convinced everybody else they had it in the bag. So everybody had what's it called? Bystander syndrome. Where like bystander syndrome is when people are recording instead of calling 911. But they're figuring somebody else to call 911. So they're like, well, I'm going to keep recording. And then the other person they figuring call 911 is recorded too. Yeah. They're like, they'll call 911. That's how the election was. Everybody was like, oh, well, I don't need to vote. She got it in the bag. She won by 1 million votes. It's all right. Everybody thought that. So then it was closer than it should have been. And that's when the Electoral College took over and Trump won. I think people forget about that he didn't really win, or he didn't win by votes. And I think that's one of the things. I think a lot of people forget that, and a lot of people that don't forget it, it's one of the things that make them kind of cynical to voting. And I do believe they need to get rid of that. Electoral college was around for a certain reason, and that reason is no longer needed. So I think it should be going away. I know it's hard to do. Like it can't be cold turkey. At least I don't know. Maybe it can be cold turkey. I don't have knowledge of that. But yeah, I'm feeling a little energetic with Kamala. I feel like I know there's a lot of people out there. It's like ain't nobody voting for a black woman. I hate when people say that shit, especially when black people say that shit.
You know what's interesting? I'm not even thinking about it that way at all. I'm looking at...
I don't think it is that way at all. Like, I think it's the opposite. I think there's a lot of people that's going to be voting for her. And you see the white guys for Kamala, they raised like $6 million in a few hours, and then they got banned from Twitter. I don't know why they got banned. I don't know what happened. I don't know if something else happened. Like, I'm not the one to dog whistle anything. You know, I don't know what happened. I don't know why the reason is, but I do know Twitter be wilding, and Elon claiming he wants this massive free speech, but it seems to be only free speech for people that think like him. So, or like the right, it's more like free right speech.
He's pro-Trump?
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? Him being pro-Trump, I ain't even mad at him. I don't like him, period. But
it would benefit him.
Yeah, it would benefit him. Yeah. I can understand that. Like these other people, I don't understand. Like there's no benefit. There's nothing but negative. But they like the rhetoric, and that's where it comes. Like That's when you know. When you know. If you see a poor person supporting Trump, a poor in the sticks person, only reason they like his rhetoric. They like him saying, fuck the immigrants, fuck all the other people, marginalized people. Like, this is our country. Like, they like that shit. And that's the only reason they're voting for him. Like, it's not no other reason. Because he's not helping you. Just so you know. He's not helping you.
So I heard some clips of the stuff he said at the, what's it called? The NBJ?
Yeah, National Black Journalists Society, I think.
No, NABJ, I believe.
National Association of Black Journalists Society.
So at first I was like, oh, like, I'll be honest. First I heard some of the stuff and it sounded entertaining to me. But then like I heard some of the stuff from another show and it was concerning to me.
Yeah. Well, I think
he was saying.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the stuff that he was saying. Like at first it was like he's a character, like.
Yeah. And I think that's always.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, I think a lot of the stuff he says is entertaining.
Yeah.
Because it's so dumb. And but then you think about it, then you come back to reality and be like, this bitch was president of the United States and is trying to be president of the United States again. It's not funny.
No.
You know?
They had a Kamala Harris like ad on YouTube. I donated to where she was asking for, donations.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I donated. And,
I didn't
put
donate.
it on I
probably would donate though.
I put it on a weekly thing. I think it's on a weekly thing.
That's cool.
But I did what was
Yeah. Put your money where your mouth is. Whatever you can give. But yeah, she is raising a lot of good money. And that's the other thing. Like that's it's crazy to me that they need to raise all this money to campaign because that's the name of the game. I ain't saying anything against her for doing it. But it's just what it is now. And that just goes to show you. Like, usually the person who wins is the person with the most money. And it's like American politics has got so far away from what it's supposed to be. And some stuff is ingrained because it was never, the whole system needs to be tore down and reshaped, I believe. I'm not saying revolution. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it needs to be reshaped, the whole system, because the system was never intended for equality for everybody. I just don't understand how people don't understand that. Like, these people that made the system own slaves. Like, do you understand that? If that doesn't make you understand how the system was built, like, I don't know. When they say every man created equal, they wasn't talking about black people. Like, they wasn't talking about marginalized people. They was talking about themselves, and that's how the system was built. So that's one of the hurdles when we trying to get over. That's the make America great again. Trying to go back to that. I ain't saying he trying to go all the way back to slavery. I'm just saying he trying to go back to white men on top. Like, that's it.
The whole police immunity thing just sounds so wrong. Like,
yeah, shouldn't nobody president having immunity too?
Yeah,
they just passed. They passed that, but like, I don't know where it is. Like, I don't know if it's final or what. But still, like, that's wild as hell to me. I understand there's a difference between stuff that may be considered crimes as the president and as a normal person, or, a regular citizen. It's not the president. Like, the president is overseeing wars, which I don't think that shit is great, what they do. Like, the wars and all that stuff, because it's all about money and oil and all that other shit. Whatever else it's about. It's never about helping people like it's framed. But I understand some of the immunity they have when dealing with that. There's people dying, people getting killed. They're not going to hold them accountable for every single action of a war. Like, there's certain, Geneva, there's certain ways that you can go about war that is illegal and illegal. But so I understand that aspect of it. But immunity, and that's crazy. Immunity is crazy.
Yeah, that
Immunity for anybody, especially a public servant, is insane. But cops don't feel like they public servants. And that's where we went wrong. Like they feel like they're held to a different standard. And they should be held to a stricter standard. Like you have life and death in your hands. Anybody that has life and death in their hands should be held to a stricter standard. I don't think you should loosen up the standard they're held to. It's crazy to me. Then they're like, well, we won't get people knowing. Ain't nobody gonna want to be a cop. Good. Like, good. You would probably weed out half the people that want to be a cop for whatever reason. Takes a certain person to want to be a police officer first anyway. You know, most of them ain't just, I want to help. I want to clean up my city. Like, nah. And that's where we go wrong at. I saw somebody say it takes 6 months to be a cop, but it take me 8 years to be a lawyer to uphold the law. But it only takes 6 months for them to enforce the law. It's like, that don't make sense. Make them have to have 4-year degrees. Now, education isn't going to block out everybody, but I'm sure it'll block out some people. Like, I'm sure to stop some of the nefarious actors. Well, unfortunately, I don't think it, you know, you can be highly educated and still be an asshole piece of shit. So, this is what it is.
What would make Donald Trump, after George Floyd, after all, you know, so many want to give police immunity? Like what?
Because he does not give a fuck.
I was just thinking
he
about
don't
that.
care about anybody but himself.
You about to say the famous Kanye line about him?
Hey. Doesn't no, because I don't think it's just black people.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Okay.
That's why I say it's wild when these people, these poor white people in these, you know, ran down towns, wherever that is, like these poor people that don't have shit. They may be happy. Like, I'm not disparaging them on that. Like, everybody lives different. But some of them aren't happy and they want stuff. And they're like, we can't because of the Democrats or because of Biden. So we're voting for Trump. Trump ain't doing shit for you. Like, he's not doing nothing for you, for your base. That's why I said I'm not mad at Elon Musk. Like, I'm not fond of him, but I understand why he would vote that way. Because he's trying to cut taxes. Trump's trying to do all that other shit that would benefit Elon. But
you know what I like? I like there's people I heard somebody, I forget who it was. There's someone who was talking, they're rich to where maybe, you know, having Trump in there would benefit them, but they look at the people. They look at what it would do to the people.
Yes. And that's an ethical person. And that's the thing. Like, you don't, that's why I said I'm not mad at Elon. I'm still, or I should say, it's not even not mad at him. I understand him. At least he has, I think that's what I'm trying to say. At least he has a concrete, real reason why he's supporting this man. Like, it's beneficial for him. But just because you're rich don't mean you got to support him. And there's a lot of rich people that are not supporting him.
I was go ahead.
No, because I think it's ethics. Just like there's rich people that is not trying to evade taxes. Like, they do what they can to pay less taxes, but it's not so insane like some of these billionaires. Like, there's some billionaires that ain't paying hardly any tax. Shit, Trump ain't paying no taxes for a while. For a few years, couple of those years, and he probably paid less taxes than me a couple of them years. I mean, of course he paid less taxes than me with the zero that he paid. But there's celebrities that's like, nah, I pay my fair share, I'll still be rich. Like, that's how you should think. Like, why wouldn't you? If this system is how it's supposed to be, if you feel like And I mean, the trickle down don't work, period. Like that was a lie from Reaganomics. It never trickles down. They just hoard it. That's what's going on now. You see it now. There's a hoarding money, these billionaires. But if you want the trickle down, like if you believe in the trickle down or some form of it, there is some form of it. It's called paying taxes to offset other stuff that people may need. So there's celebrities that's like, yeah, I'm pay these taxes. I pay these taxes. Okay. I mean, you see, there's a lot that don't. Like we would have got more Blade if Wesley did, but Wesley's like a drop in the bucket. These billionaires, he owed what, like $3 million or something? I don't know. It might have been more than that, but
I don't know.
I don't remember. It wasn't like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a lot of money, but it wasn't crazy. But he went to jail behind that shit. Like he owed probably less than any of these billionaires, and he went to jail for it. But these billionaires just skating by, just doing slide slick shit that he probably should have did, but he didn't really know about. Yeah, it is. I don't know. It's insane. I always get angry when I talk about it, so I don't like talking about it too much. But it's important. It's important.
Yeah.
I feel like we talk about a lot of stuff on this podcast that's important. Regardless of, I do want to be entertaining, but at the same time, it's not just entertainment.
I was glad to hear that Taylor Swift is in support of Kamala Harris.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, they were like, if Taylor Swift and Beyonce do a benefit concert, it'd be done. It'd be a wrap. I mean, it would. It might still be a wrap. Mm-hmm. But she probably getting a lot of backlash too. Because there's probably a lot of fans that support Donald Trump. A lot of her fans. I don't know for certain. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm sure she got fans everywhere. So I'm sure a lot of her fans support Donald Trump. But if she don't care, that's cool. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like I saw a YouTuber just recently say that they supported Kamala Harris and she lost like half her following. And like she's upset. And because that's money, you know what I mean? Especially if this is your only job. And like, I don't care. For one, it's not my only job. So, and for two, I'm real about everything. So I'm going to say whatever. I'd rather have the people that support me anyway for whatever. But yeah, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, but that's how it is. That's what it is. I mean, I'm sure there's people right now that done clicked off of shit. You know what I mean? Whoever listening.
That's
like,
what happened to Eminem, right? Like, he took that stand a few years ago against Donald Trump, and I think he said he lost like half his fan base.
Yeah, because all his fan base, half of them are people that probably aren't fans of rap. They're just fans of him. So, but I think that's cool. I think it's cool when celebrities do that and stand on their business. Stand on business.
Yeah, me too.
Because that's when you know it's real. I mean, most of the time. I think these celebrities, they got enough money to be like, fuck it, I don't care. That's why I don't understand when they try to stay neutral. I said that quote a few podcasts ago. Like, there's sometimes when you gotta speak up and not stay neutral. And they got enough money where it don't matter. Don't matter if they lose half their fan base. They probably still gonna make millions and millions. Like, you think them people going 2 years, probably 2 years from now, all the people that unfollow her are gonna still be listening to her music. And they like she did some old crazy heinous crime or something. And even that ain't gonna stop people. You see that in history.
I mean, is there a possibility that she may sway some people her way?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that's a bigger possibility. That's why I like when these people speak up. Because I know there's probably some young people that don't know or maybe ain't into it or whatever. And this might be the only place they hear something. They might be like, hey, I can say, I think the young people these days are more in tune with a lot of shit. They catch a lot of flack. For one, I think we us older people failed them somewhat with a lot of stuff. But I also think that they're more in tune than other generations ever was at their age. Because I just think they're just involved in more. They have more shit going on. You know, more shit is affecting them.
Vote Kamala Harris for president is what I want to say. Make sure you registered. You know, make sure your voice is heard. Make sure, you know, I'm in support of Kamala Harris for president. I want her to win because I think that it's important. I think that, especially for Black people, that we live, that we continue to live, and that we, you know what I mean? Like,
that sounds funny, but that's wild. Like, in 2024, this is how we gotta think.
Yeah.
It's fucked up, really. I get depressed when I think about it sometimes. So I ain't gonna think about it too much.
Yeah.
But I mean,
and I'm not a person that's even anti-police. Like, I'm anti-bad police or corrupt police, or, you know what I mean? Like, police who are murdering people. Like,
I think their system needs an overhaul too. Personally, I just think they have a lot of power.
Okay.
Where they shouldn't. You know, like they have, like, their unions are some of the richest unions, and they take care. You know, I believe in unions personally, and I believe in good unions, and I believe that unions should fight for their people, but they be on another level. Like, they got a lot of money, and a lot of the police unions. That's why these cops don't get held accountable. I just feel like if they keep saying, like, all this stuff, we can't do our job because I think that's the point. Like, you can't do your job how you used to do it. And that's the point. Like, how you used to do it ain't good, or how you're still doing it ain't good. So it needs changing. It needs changing. Like, you got people with mental health issues that are getting shot in the face. Like, hey, what are you doing? And you have problematic cops that have been problematic all over the place, but they just get, because of the police unions, they just get sent somewhere else.
It definitely sounds like the hiring process needs to be more stringent, the word?
Yeah. I think those two things would solve the problem. I think more consequences for bad behavior in the hiring process.
This is not a good situation at all. The whole Sonya Massey being murdered is not a good thing at all. But but him being fired and arrested already was a good thing about, you know, after the fact, right?
Yeah, but he's been involved in other stuff, and I think that's why, because of his record. I think maybe that's why it was so quick, because they probably couldn't get it ahead of it. But I think if they could get ahead of it, they would have tried. And who knows what's going to happen? Like, he's not tried or anything right now. But I'll reserve judgment on that. But it should never happen, and I think it's due to him. Like, he should never been in that position.
Yeah, because Sonya Massey's father was saying that he wasn't told right away what happened. Like, even the dispatcher? I think they were saying they weren't told what happened. Like, what?
No, they were trying to figure out how to cover it up or spin it. That's probably what they were doing, and then they figured out they can't. So, hey, bruh, you fucked up. So you're gonna have to take this one on the chin. That's probably what happened. I'm almost certain. I'm almost certain that's what happened. They probably was around there. Just I didn't watch the video because I don't watch those videos, but I saw enough of it And, you know, I knew it was coming, so I turned it off. But what I heard after, like I did listen, like after, like when he was, you know, nonchalant about it, like shot her in the face, like, blah, blah, you know, I told her, like, that's evil. Yeah, no compassion, like none. I don't understand these people that make excuses. I even seen people trying to make excuses for that.
I didn't see any.
When it happens, it always, you know, they always try to make excuses, but
like there wasn't, you know, we didn't see every angle, but I didn't see any indication that she was going to throw.
It don't matter to me, like whether she was or not.
Right? Yeah, true.
And that's the thing that I always go back to.
Yeah.
Just because you're a criminal, she wasn't, but just because you're a criminal, don't mean you deserve to die. You don't deserve to be shot in the street. Now I understand if you're shooting at the police, like you shooting at somebody, that's something different. But that's not what these cases are. Like a lot of them, like they just they claim they're in danger or whatever. Like you're supposed to be trained, highly trained professional. The thing I always go back to is how we're supposed to be not moving. We're supposed to be composed while they got guns on you, but they can act irrational and emotional out the blue because they feel like their life's in danger. And that don't make no sense. None at all. So yeah, I definitely think they need more training. People need more training.
I was even thinking that after seeing this, and I don't know, but I was like, I wonder if like people, and this is just I don't know if this will work or but I was like, I wonder if people that actually live in these neighborhoods or live maybe in a neighborhood like it should be police in these neighborhoods. You know what I mean? That are used to dealing with the kind of people that are in these neighborhoods, you know? Like that knows that this woman is not a threat. Like, but at the same time, you know, that may be like not
well, I think and what some are doing now is where like a social worker or something, somebody, psychologist or somebody goes out to like calls, because there's always calls of, you know, mentally ill or someone that's intellectually disabled being killed or hurt or whatever, because the cops think they're being aggressive, and they may be aggressive, but they don't know. They're barely trained to deal with criminals, so they're not going to be able to deal with somebody that's mental health or intellectually disabled and understand. Like I went to school for 4 years to deal with it, and I'm biased because I'm a social worker, but like I had to go to school for 4 years to deal with a person with mentally challenging issues, and these cops are just like going to a call with a gun and a taser, and like seeing this person that they have no idea their diagnosis, no nothing, don't know what they're and some of it dealing with it, being in psych hospitals, dealing with it, being having a 20-year career in it. I understand it can be scary when people are having a mental health issue. But if you know what you're looking at, a lot of times you know that it's not a danger, or how you're interacting is causing more of a danger. That's what I don't think. Like they're trained. I think a lot of their training is to intimidate. I mean, I know cops. I have friends that are cops, and they've told me like there's certain ways you're supposed to go to a car. Like people are always like, well, why are they so menacing and stuff? They're supposed to act like that because they want to intimidate a person off jump. So they're taught that's the first line of defense, intimidation. But that's not always it. That's not always the first line of defense. For one, intimidation don't work on somebody that's mentally ill because they don't give a fuck. Like they don't care about your intimidation. So that's going to be a challenge to them. Like your ego has to be taken out of dealing with somebody with mental health issues or somebody that's intellectually challenged because they're not thinking the same as somebody that has a clearer head or a clear mind. So your approach needs to be different. They don't have a different approach. So is this going in and being intimidating? Even though I have seen a few cops get it right, which is refreshing. I have seen that, but most of them don't because they don't know. And these cops that I've seen were cops that worked in certain neighborhoods all their life or most of their life, and they know the people, they deal with the people. And that's the other thing I think is separating. Like, cops don't do that no more. Like, they don't walk around. They're scared. They're scared to go into certain neighborhoods unless there's an issue. So if you never deal with these people ever, you're never going to get the rapport that you want, because you're not going to get it off the bat, but they don't even want to try because they're like, oh, they ain't going to accept us off the bat. Like, they may, you never know. You never know. But the fact that you're never in this neighborhood or never dealing with these people. And that's the thing with, like, growing up. Like, I just remember growing up, we only saw the cops when shit was bad.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you are embedded. Like, that's how your brain, that's what gets embedded in your brain. Like, we didn't see the cops doing no outreach. Like, we didn't see the cops doing that. I mean, they might have came to the school for once, and there's a few cops that I know growing up that were decent people, but there's a lot that I know that wasn't, and they're all in the same system, and they're brothers. Like, that's how they are trained. Like, it's hard. It's hard. A cop goes against another cop, it's gonna be hard for that dude. Mm-hmm. or girl or woman, I'm sorry. Like, it's gonna be hard for them. And that's part of the issue too. Like, that fraternity, that brotherhood, not holding each other accountable.
Yeah, which, I mean, that seems like contradicting to me, because if your job is to uphold the law, if you see a fellow officer not upholding the law or going against the law, like, you should like you say, hold them accountable. Like, hold them accountable. Yeah, and that shouldn't be frowned upon.
Yeah. That's how we feel. That's how a lot of people feel.
Right.
Cops don't feel that way because they won't do whatever the fuck they want, knowing that this person got their back. For one, like, I can understand where it's coming from, because you want this person to have your back above everything. You know what I mean? Like, you want this person, if you're with this person and it's life and death situation, because I mean, it is a dangerous job. They do get put in the life and death situations. I don't think that's being debated by anybody. But in where I was going with it was, I understand, like, a person wants this other person to have their back. Hey, you need to have my back, because this is life and death. I go in this house, it's somebody with a gun. Mm-hmm. You need to have my back. You need to shoot him or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, that's something. So I understand that aspect of it, but it's just all the other shit that comes with it that that isn't good. Like you said, like, they can break the law and they're looking at it like, you ain't got my back if you tell on me. Like, how can I trust you? But ain't nobody else. How you gonna trust me?
But that's a different situation.
Yeah, right? It is. I feel like it is. Not all of them feel like that, though. You see, throughout the years, what's happened to cops who are whistleblowers. Like, they either lose their job or they get fucked up or something. Something happens. Somehow they get rid of them. I digress. I think we're gonna get close to coming to a close.
Okay.
Got any closing remarks you would like to make?
Kamala Harris. Let's get our first female president, Kamala Harris, in there.
2024.
Yes, I'm all for that.
Yeah, I am too. Yeah, that would be dope. Again, we're coming to a close. I hope you enjoyed this episode of What We Thinking. This is episode 9. And I usually say that in the beginning, but, well, I didn't say it in the beginning, like last 3. But yeah, episode 9 in the books. Thank you for watching or joining or listening. If you're listening, you can, I don't ever say all of the stuff, but you can check us out on YouTube, What We Thinking, or you can check us out on various podcast places, wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Google, Spotify, all that good stuff. All right. So we're going to come to an end, and I appreciate y'all again watching, listening, all that good stuff. And I'm out. And we out. So Bryson's out. And Influence is out. Peace.
Life ain't over. Life ain't over. Life ain't over. Life ain't over. As long as you alive, you can give another try and take it real high if you want.